Most people who feel broke aren't just making one big financial decision that's setting them back, but it's actually a series of habits that they're repeating day in and day out that's quietly draining their bank account, and most of the time, people don't even realize it's actually happening. And these habits, they don't come from bad luck or not making enough money. It comes from a lack of a system around their finances. Always reacting instead of planning, doing what feels good in the moment versus doing what's best for your long-term financial success. And if you've been trying to get ahead but you still feel stuck, this might explain why. Hey, I'm Billy. I'm a personal finance coach. I help people take control of their money, break the paycheck to paycheck cycle, and get out of debt. In this video, I'm going to be walking through the 11 habits that keep people broke and what to do instead. So let's dive in. Habit number one that is keeping most people broke is that they're always just winging it with their money and they never develop any kind of plan or budget or system around it. So they'll go through the month, they'll check their bank account balance from time to time, they'll pay bills as they pop up, they're always kind of in reactionary mode. So instead, a good way to break this habit is to define a plan for your money before each paycheck or before each month begins, so that way you're going to be intentional with where your money's going and you're not always in reactionary mode trying to put out fires constantly throughout the month. There'll be a lot less stress and you'll finally feel like you're going to be making great progress with your money. Habit number two is letting past financial mistakes define your future. We've all made mistakes with money. We're all human. We've all done dumb things.
Indeed, we have.
But the key is to just learn from those mistakes and then move forward. Don't let the phrase like, oh, I've always been bad with money, be part of your identity. You've done some dumb things in the past. That's okay. Learn from it and move on and just try not to repeat it again in the future. And that leads to habit number three on the list, which is financing cars that you cannot afford. Now, even though $600 car payments feel normal in today's society, $600, $700, $800, $900 payments feel normal, it's absolutely robbing you of your cash flow and your ability to invest in your future. So if you are going to be purchasing a car, pay cash for a used, reliable car that you can afford, or if you already are in car debt, pay it off as soon as possible so that way you can free up that cash flow and you can begin saving and investing for your future. And habit number four that is keeping people broke is treating irregular expenses as emergencies. We all know Christmas comes on December 25th every year. You know you're gonna have that annual or semi-annual car insurance payment that you need to make. You know you got those birthdays you need to plan for. So instead of treating those as emergencies and throwing them on a credit card, go ahead and set some money aside every month or every paycheck so that way you can save up for those expenses and plan ahead for them rather than getting into them and having to throw them on a credit card and go into debt. And habit number five that keeps people broke is trying to out-earn poor spending habits. You can get that next promotion or you can get that bonus at work or you can get that new job and earn more money, but without a good system and plan in place, all that's going to do is magnify your financial mess that you're in and it won't actually solve the root problem. So instead, create a system for yourself that is sustainable and that you are intentional about with your money. And then that way, when you do get that raise or that bonus, then you're able to put it to use intentionally and you're not just gonna be spending it needlessly on things that don't move the needle for you. And habit number six that is keeping people broke is they're paying themselves last. So when they get paid, the money will go toward their bills and any discretionary spending, and then saving money or investing is an afterthought. But what people who are successful with their money do is they always pay themselves first, whether it's savings or investing. They make sure that that gets done first, and then they pay their bills and they use whatever leftover money for discretionary spending after that. They always make sure that they pay themselves first, and broke people pay themselves last. And habit number seven that keeps people broke is people telling themselves that it's just a temporary season of life. Like, oh, once I get through the holidays here, or once I get that new job, then I'll finally be able to take control of my money. They blink and before they know it, that temporary season of life has become a permanent lifestyle and it's dragged on for years. So just be very careful and be very intentional with your money and don't just justify it by saying, oh, I'll take care of it next month. Take control, be intentional with your money now, and your future self will thank you.
Thank you.
And that leads nicely into habit number eight, which is using money to cope with stress. We've all heard about retail therapy or treat yourself.
Treat yourself in Beverly Hills.
Thanks Tom Haverford and Donna Meagle for the Parks and Rec fans out there. But really all this is just short-term relief and it leads to long-term regret and hurts your overall financial progress and your financial future. So instead of leaning into that retail therapy in order to deal with your stress, trying to plan out some different things you can do that are low cost or free, maybe some hobbies you enjoy or spending time with your family that don't cost a lot of money, but also give you that stress relief that you need. And that leads to habit number 9 that is keeping people broke, which is that they're operating without any kind of real money management system. So a lot of people go through the month, they'll wing it, they'll check their bank account once in a while, and if there's some money in there, they feel like they can spend it, or if it's getting low before payday, they'll just throw it on a credit card and tell themselves, oh, I'll just deal with that next month. But what you want to be doing instead is being proactive and planning with your money, which is exactly why I created my free paycheck planning system, which I've linked down in the description down below. You can download it. It's super easy to use. And what it does is it lets you plan your next paycheck before it hits your bank account, so that way you're being intentional and telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went.
Brilliant.
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 It's not like some of those other apps where you have to plan out the entire month and you get to the 20th or the 25th of the month and you're out of money because you've already spent it all. This is better because it just focuses on your next paycheck, so that way you have total control over it and you're not spending too much money too fast and getting to the end of the month and having to throw the rest on credit cards. It's the exact method that my wife and I used when we paid off $51,000 in 16 months. It's just having that intentionality, planning out where the money's going to go ahead of time, so that way you're not getting to the end of the month and trying to throw everything on credit cards just to get by until your next paycheck. So check it out down below in the description. It's completely free, and I'm very confident that it'll help you finally take control of your finances. That leads into habit number 10 that keeps people broke, is not reviewing their past spending. So especially if you're going to be creating a budget for the first time, it's very important to go through your past bank statements and credit card statements and really get a crystal clear picture of where your money is actually going, not just where you theoretically think it's going to be going. A lot of people, when they are budgeting for the first time, especially, or the first few months, they'll just go through and be like, oh, I think I spend this amount on groceries, or I think I spend this amount on gas per month.
It might work.
But really, when you dig into those numbers and you go back through your bank statements and your credit card statements, it's very revealing, and you get to get a crystal clear picture of where that money is actually going. It's really going to set you up for success then when you do create that budget and you're creating realistic numbers and not something that's going to be so impossible to stick to. And that leads to the final habit that is keeping people broke, number 11, which is never asking for help or any guidance along the way in their financial journey. So people think, oh, just because I'm an adult, I should be able to have this all figured out. But the truth is, they never really taught us this stuff in school growing up.
No, they didn't.
It's just that society kind of expects, oh, you're an adult now, you should know how to manage your money. But really, a lot of people stay stuck a lot longer than they really should be because they don't really know how to manage their money. But if they just asked for some help and had some guidance in their personal finance journey, they would get unstuck a lot faster and they'd start hitting their goals a lot sooner, rather than just trying to figure it all out on their own and completely winging it. So if that sounds like your situation where you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck and always being broke, feel free to check out the description down below. I've got a link for a free one-on-one money strategy session where I'll sit down with you. We'll walk through where your finances are currently, what your goals are, and start laying out a plan to actually get there for you and your money, so that way you're not stuck living in this broke cycle where you're always just living paycheck to paycheck, constantly stressed, and you can actually start achieving those financial goals that you know that you really want to hit and you know you can hit. So check out that down in the description below. I'd love to sit down with you and help you craft a plan for your money so that you, for once and for all, can stop living paycheck to paycheck and start hitting those money goals that you know you deserve.